Welcome back, Pokemon fans. My name is Angel of the Night 091, and today I've got an exciting video there for you. I've got a video featuring the SXOS, which is a custom firmware for the Nintendo Switch. But today is actually going to be a review of the StargateNX. Now, the StargateNX is an application that's run under the custom firmware of SXOS, and basically allows you to download game backups and all their DLC and all of their updates. So without further ado, let's jump right in here and take a quick look. So I'm just going to pop up the webpage here for Team Executor. So if you guys are wondering what that is, take a look at the website here. It has all the information here about the OS. I just want to shout out to them because they did give me a review copy of the SXOS when it first launched. And until I received the StargateNX, I didn't see really any kind of a need to review this, to be honest with you, but it's now become useful, so fantastic. So one thing you're going to need to have Nintendo Switch firmware 6.2.0 or under, and a Nintendo Switch from before, I believe it's June of 2018. I'm not 100% certain on that. You guys might have to take a look. But essentially, your Nintendo Switch has to run custom firmware in order to use this application. Now, like I said, the StargateNX is software that's run only under custom firmware. It will not run on stock firmware. And there's zero risk of a ban because of the SXOS stealth mode that's enabled by default. Now, the application here says here that you can actually download over 4,000 titles. You can download all US games and all their DLC. Now, one thing here with their application, as you guys can see here, it shows you all the thumbnails, the DLC, the updates, XCIs, homebrews, all that good stuff. But essentially, this is a licensed software, just like the SXOS. So with SXOS, in order to run this, you need to have a licensed copy of their firmware in order to be able to boot into their custom firmware. Now, on top of that, if we take a look here at the StargateNX, it's actually $24.95 a month. Basically, for 30 days access to their online servers to download these games, they are $24.95. Now, from what I've seen in the application is it allows you to go in and download the games, but it also allows you to export them as well to your SD card, so you can back them up for later use. So one thing I might suggest is that after you download a game, maybe go through and export the game and save it to your computer. So that way you're not constantly going through and having to pay to get all these games re-downloaded later on if you decide to take one off, right? So yeah, so basically when you get the software, there's a download that they give you, and it's basically an SX folder. Now, when you download this folder, this has to go on your SD card for your Nintendo Switch under the Switch folder, and then there's going to be an SX folder that you're going to paste there. So you just paste their files onto there, and that is basically how you put your app onto the homebrew. Now, I'm already booted into custom firmware at the moment, so we're going to jump over to our Nintendo Switch in order to take a look at that. So let's see here. So we're back over to our Nintendo Switch, and in order to boot into the custom firmware, we actually have to go into our album. So as you can see here, we're actually in our album, but I just realized I need to have Wi-Fi for this. So I'm going to go into my system settings here. I do have some custom internet settings here for my Nintendo Switch, because I also use Atmosphere as well, which is another custom firmware we'll talk about another time. So I'm just going to connect up to my DS Wi-Fi connection, which is an open network. Now, the good thing about the SXOS is that it blocks all of Nintendo's online servers, so you won't get any kind of firmware updates or any kind of game updates or anything like that. So let's go into the album. Now, I will have to hide my screen here for a moment because when I go over to the next screen, there's a license page, and that actually shows you my license for SXOS, which I do not want to show you guys. So let's take a look here. Looks like I have two installer folders for some reason. I have 1.4 and another one. Why? Going to this one here. I think this is the one. But anyways, it connects up to their network, and it downloads basically a database file, which is going to link all of the games that you have access to. So this is just going to go through and check for the updates. Might take a few moments to go through and do the updates, guys. So you just have to be a little bit patient, and they'll have a game list here for you in just a moment. Now, as you can see here, it says that I have 20 days remaining. I acquired this here about 11 days ago. I actually had 31 days, which was kind of interesting. So we're going to go through here and take a look at the games. I don't know if it's going to show me all of the thumbnails, but we'll take a look here. There we go. So luckily I was able to get the thumbnails downloaded before. So I do have some of the thumbnails here, so we can actually just go through and take a look at some of the games that they have here. Now, one thing I've noticed is that when it's in docked mode, the output to HDMI kind of stops. So if you're going to go through and download some games, until they get that kind of like an issue fixed, you might want to do this in handheld mode, but we'll just go through here and take a look here. Now, it's going to take some time to load these thumbnails. I'll show you where the settings are to go in and pre-download these, so that way you guys have this for later use. But yeah, if you were to go through and try to load up all the thumbnails at once, it has to go through and download them manually, which does take an incredibly long time. So I'm just going to see here if I can actually find a game. I think one of the games I was going to show you guys, I think was Ukulele. There's Ukulele. So let's click onto the game. And as you can see here, it gives you the option to basically install all DLC and the latest update. And we're just going to click install. Now, this is going to go through, connect up to your Wi-Fi, and then it's going to go through and download all of the game basically through the internet. Now, it does take some time because what this does is it downloads the game onto your computer and, well, not your computer, sorry, downloads it onto your Nintendo Switch console, and then it saves it to the SD card, and then it installs it through the SD card. So depending on the game size, it can take some time. If I just hit back for a moment, and we go back to the list view, if we go down and take a look at Ukulele here, I'm just going to bring it up above my head here. Oh. New games. Ukulele is about 5.8 gigabytes worth of space. So I actually have a 32 gig SD card in my computer, not my computer, sorry, my Nintendo Switch at the moment. So that's going to download to the Switch's SD card. Now, in this scenario, you definitely want to have it going to the SD card. Don't save anything on your system memory, just in case, especially just in case. You don't want to corrupt anything there from there, but do it all to the SD card. Just get yourself a large SD card. You can go to places like eBay, Amazon. I know Best Buy, some places have like really good deals on for SD cards lately, and they're coming down a lot in price. So my regular SD card I have for Atmosphere is actually 128 gigabytes. But for this purpose of showing you guys here of this software here, 32 gigs is plenty. Plenty to show you guys the games. So let's go back into the thumbnail view. So you just have to click onto the minus onto your Joy-Con to get the thumbnails to come back up. And if we start scrolling through here, we can actually go through and try to find some other games. So let's just scroll through here. I know that there's a few others that I wanted to try as well. So I'm just going to set those up at the moment. And we'll see what happens. So let's see if I can find them now. Now, I've actually tried to do this recording a few times, and I actually ran into a lot of like personal technical issues, which was really messed up. One of the issues that I had was during the process of trying to test out this software, my Nintendo Switch somehow updated to 7.0.0, which was automatic. I don't know how it did it, but it updated it for some reason, and I had to go back through and like basically revert back to 6.2. This will only work on 6.2 right now. SXOS doesn't work on version 7 of the firmware for Nintendo Switch. I'm sure that in the future there will be an update there for that, but I'm not going to be too worried for now. So we're going to click install, and we're going to install another game here. That was Omensight. It was one of the games that I seen online that was kind of interesting. I'm not really going to go and download any of the Pokemon ones because I've already got those ones already installed. I have a physical game cartridge in there at the moment. And then there was one more. Can't remember which it was. Oh, I remember what it was. I think it was Gris. Gris was one of those games that I seen like a trailer for, and it just completely caught my eye by how like nice it looked. So where is Gris? There we go. Doesn't have the thumbnail there, but that's all right. I know what it is. We're going to go ahead and click install. All right, and that's just going to download into the background. So right now we actually have 3 of these going right now. If we scroll through, you can see that there's a new DLC pack out for Pokemon Quest. I'm not going to worry too much about that. There is an update for the Let's Go Pikachu. I'm not going to download that one right now because I don't use it on Wi-Fi for this console. When I use Let's Go Pikachu, I use it for like PK Hex, and there will be a tutorial in there coming as well. Homebrew store. Now I'm just going to check here. File browser, search, queue. There we go. So if we take a look, sorry guys, if we go back here to the queue, we can actually see that our first game is downloading, which was Ukulele. And then there's the other games after it that come. So we'll just give that some time to download. Now, one thing that I've noticed here with this product is that the download speeds are extremely slow. So if you're downloading a 5 gig game, I can almost guarantee you that it's going to take you probably close to an hour if you have download speeds on your network of about 300 down, 200 up. If you have a really slow internet connection, it's going to take you a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my little recording here for now, and we'll come back to it once those games have finished installing. All right, guys, so while we wait for those to download, they are still downloading here. I forgot to go through and show you guys the options. So if you scroll on past down the file browser, the search, the queue, tickets, dump title keys, and console information, you can get to the options. And this is where you can go through and change like your menu colors, such as like light, auto. You can change it to pretty well anything you wish. Right now, that's the Team Executor logo and stuff. You can change the region to US or to pretty well any other region, language, English to different languages. Auto download database. So you know where it showed like all those thumbnails and everything like that? You're going to want to select auto download database. So that way it's going to go through, connect up to the network, and then download the database and all of its information. Your timeout connection should be set to probably around 30 if you're a little bit concerned about your wireless network. If it's not that great, let's say you're getting a network from across the street or from a friend, anywhere like that. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Clock UI. So I actually have it right now overclocked to 1.79 gigahertz, which is the highest that processor is going to go. And then for preload images, I have it set for no because I actually went through and manually downloaded all those thumbnails. But if you select yes, that's actually going to go through and download every single one. The game save backup, that's telling you where it's going to save all of your game saves for the games that you're installing. This will come in handy if you want to back up your game saves for later use. Such as like if you're playing Pokemon, for example. If you want to do, let's say, PK Hex or anything like that, your game saves are all going to be in here. It doesn't save them in the regular like Nintendo folders and things like that. So you can actually go into like the Switch folder, SX, saves, and all of your game saves are there. So you can edit all your Pokemon and your game saves. The eShop dump, if you were to basically go through and like export your games and things like that, I'm assuming that that's where you'd find where they would all be. So yeah, that's pretty well it until the games download. So I'm going to stop the recording here once again, and we'll be back. All right, guys, so we are back here again, once again, with the guide here for the StargateNX. And we just finished downloading Ukulele. So let's go in here. I'll just show you here. Get my Joy-Cons paired up here again. I had to do a little bit of a reboot. So if we click onto Ukulele, we should now be able to play the game Ukulele. So let's just take a look here. Seems to be loading up A-OK. Hopefully I've got the audio enabled here in this video. Not sure if I do or not. I think I do. So I've just gotten back to recording here and making these videos here for the first time in like really like a year. I took like a year break, and I'm really happy and really excited to bring this kind of a tutorial there to you guys again, because I used to do this all the time back in the day. So let's see here. Okay, looks like it's loading up here perfectly fine. And looks like we're able to get into the main adventure. And we'll just give it a moment here to see if it'll load up. I'm pretty sure it's going to load. It looks like it's going to load up here okay. Now, I did try to download Gris and the other couple of games there that I showed you guys in the last part of this video, but I ended up running into an issue. I had to reboot my console. I don't know why, but the downloads were taking an extremely long time. Like, I basically sat here for like an hour and a half waiting for them to download. So I've just got the one game here just to show you guys that it is working. And should load up here. Should be no issues running the game. Let's just skip the intro here. All right. And as you guys can see, we're fully functional, running around in Ukulele. Not very good at moving around in this kind of a camera angle, but yep, looks like it's all working good here, guys. So that is the power of the StargateNX. So again, all you guys have to do is get the SXOS, which is a custom firmware by Team Executor, and then you'd have to purchase a license for the StargateNX in order to be able to download games. There are other methods to get games, of course, but this is by far the easiest one that I've found. The alternative to this would be to go online, searching for the games, and basically hoping that they're actually going to be working. Not all games you find online are going to work, but this one here, these ones here are all guaranteed to work through the StargateNX. So that's it for this video there, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you enjoyed it there today, go ahead and leave the thumbs up onto the video and post a comment in the comment section below. I will link you guys to the StargateNX website as well as the SXOS. And in the future, I'm going to be bringing you guys an atmosphere video as well as a PK Hex tutorial using the atmosphere custom firmware for the Nintendo Switch. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one, and I'll catch you guys next time.